All right, we're back here, Fairview on Sports, episode 5. Got some interesting things to talk about today. We got the Turkey Bowl post game. We got John Reda coming in a little bit later as a guest on the match.
Yeah, the match, big time.
Big time fuck up, it seems like.
I haven't seen anything on what those pay-per-view guys look like. Very curious how that matched up.
It just seems shady. I don't know why. I can't, they're not releasing how many people viewed it and stuff like that. And there was like a refund. Did you hear about that?
Oh, I heard about this. That
Yeah.
like if you bought it, there was like issues accessing it, and like I don't know. I guess there's a refund for like the people who bought it and couldn't watch it live or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was it only streaming?
Everyone
or
got
was
their
it...
money back, I think, because
Really?
there was like a leak in the stream or something. So they didn't want people who didn't.
That's what it was.
They didn't want people who didn't or did pay for it to be upset because everyone else was getting it for free. Really
Right.
good.
Even though I heard they were on top of like the pilot streamers on like Reddit who were trying to like restream it for free. But I mean that was.
And
just
then after that, they claimed they had like way more views than way more buys than they even expected, and it was like a crazy amount of buys. But they just
Lost
saying
that on a lot of
they're
money.
saying that now, but Big Francesa wasn't buying it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I feel like I haven't heard much about it since it was over and Phil got the epic victory. But I guess that'll be interesting to see where like the future of pay-per-view sports goes. Because if you could have like a one-off in a sport where like whoever wins doesn't mean anything, right? It's not like boxing where like you could have a pay-per-view championship bout. You have a one-off between them. What's like to stop any other two people going forward? If you can get like two tennis players, let's say,
Tennis
just do a
would be
pay-per-view.
interesting. I guess it has to be a one-on-one sport because I mean you really can't.
Yeah, you can't.
Someone
like,
was calling in
exhibition.
the fan the other day about doing a one-on-one basketball game like that, and they were saying that'd be big, but then it's like not really, it's a team sport, so it's kind of.
That'd be interesting though if you got like
Would
all
you
like,
tune
the top
into,
10 players. It's like an
bracket
all-star
thing?
game, but like I don't know who the hell would watch that.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't be good unless you really had like LeBron playing Durant in a game of 21. I'd do that.
I guess, but I feel like
It'd
you
be
already
such a
see
joke.
that. You see that with the.
It'd be just like the
Olympic
Tiger
teams
versus
where
Phil
at
thing.
least-
They just
yeah.
can't take it seriously. It's just a joke.
All right, you bring back Jordan to play someone one-on-one.
Jordan versus LeBron.
Which would that'd be a lot of fun now with LeBron in his prime still. So a lot to get to. I think we could start with a non-professional recap, which was probably the biggest news of the weekend. Right after Thanksgiving, playing South River's 3rd annual Turkey Bowl in a pretty epic matchup of red versus black. And this was a great game. Hard fought.
It was a good game.
We got the trophy here for those watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Pretty epic golden
That's bad boy.
golden turkey, and red team came out.
Gotta put the names on there.
Yeah, we gotta formalize this trophy a little bit more.
Thing up.
It was a gritty game, but ultimately
The team finally got that dub.
got that
So
dub
they're
finally.
still 1-2 in the series. So next year is obviously still going to be a big pivotal game.
That'll be this will be a fun best of 5, and then we'll see how
We
more
really
they do
need
after that.
need a whole year off.
It's really awful the older you get, how long it takes you to recover from these one time matchups.
I mean, I'm starting to feel a little bit normal again, but like the day after the game, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be good for next year at this rate.
I know, man. It has you questioning it. I mean, I got half a fucking elbow here.
Ooh, I didn't even see that.
This is gonna be a long recovery period, but Max probably MVP. I would say.
I've heard whispers of other things going on too. I thought it would be Max as well.
Yeah, I think
just for having such a good offensive performance, but
he did.
people were saying maybe Costco because he had played both sides of the ball. He had 2 picks, and I think he had a few touchdowns as well. But
yeah, he had a
I
couple
still
ones.
think personally Max stepped up big and had I think 9 touchdown passes.
Something.
He had to. If we scored 11, and he
had a
threw
rushing
the ball.
touchdown too.
He had a yeah.
Actually,
He had 2, I think. So I think he had 9 passing, 2
Yeah, I
rushing.
think that sounds right.
So
Yeah, he did
all
have
11 touchdowns he accounted for.
yeah, it's pretty
So
crazy.
That's pretty big time.
Max definitely, especially opening the game, recovering from a torn ACL with a nice run up the sidelines.
That really made the defense.
That really shook us up a little
They're
bit.
like, whoa, he ran the
I
ball.
think we went into that matchup with a cocky attitude, thinking we're gonna have a pocket sloth quarterback like Eli, and I knew we were in trouble when Max came out in the field and he's rocking a Peyton jersey.
Yeah, when he
feel
came
right.
out with that coffee, I knew he was ready to go. That's an infamous coffee cup. He's locked in with that thing. He played great. Brandon played fantastic as well.
Brandon had a great game.
Great defensive game.
Great defensive effort, which you spotlighted beforehand.
The red team's defense was the low key. We had a lot of stops there.
Yeah, black team had trouble moving the ball. It was not a smooth effort out there. A lot of running plays. I think you saw the lack of receiving help kind of rear its ugly head.
Yeah. Definitely missing TD15 out there.
Yeah, Tom Drum, big factor. So
Big drum football, man.
we were out there giving it all, but we just couldn't get a lot of momentum on offense. Even with the addition of Frank coming in.
Frank made an instant impact when he came, though. It seems like you guys started getting that momentum back, and everyone was feeling like, "Oh, is this a repeat of last year? They're giving up the big lead."
It started. I think we had
gained a
started
little
to come back with a
momentum
couple
back.
points in a row, and then
Yeah.
Frank comes in, and all of a sudden now
Yeah,
it's
it's
6-4
like,
game, and you start thinking, is it going to teeter again in our favor?
Yeah,
But
but we shut the door on that one.
for opening drive of the second half, if I'm not mistaken, it was a long touchdown, which kind of set the it was a drive up the field where I think Max ran it in. I think that was the opening drive, and that kind of set the tone for playing catch up.
We came out hot in the beginning for sure. The second half.
A lot of chipperness. It was a very chipper
very
game.
chippy game. A lot of talking.
Very
a
chippy.
lot of chirping going on.
A lot of chirping. A lot of shade thrown.
Yeah.
There was
heat of the moment type word.
heat of the moment, but there was there was a lot of that
There
going
was a
on.
lot of little post game shade as
A
well.
little bit.
A couple of random shots, unsuspected, coming out of the
couple
woodwork.
of shots coming out of the woodwork from an undesignated area. Yeah, people feeling themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some people are feeling themselves a bit.
But
That actually might have been the most lopsided game we've had yet, though.
it was a constant trailing game.
Because the first two were still pretty close. The first game is kind of just like a mirage to me now.
I don't even remember playing
The first game
I
doesn't.
thought we had.
We'll count it as an official.
Oh,
game.
you know what? That was the
series
game I
is
broke my ankle.
Yeah, the series
Yeah,
is
okay.
definitely 2-1, but the first game, I feel like there's a bunch of people that didn't play in the last two games too. There's like
It was a lot of new
random.
faces.
It was a little different.
A lot of questionable receivers. It felt like in this game too, just people popping up that you.
This year?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just it just felt like there wasn't. Let me rephrase it. Not questionable receivers. There wasn't like many go-to receivers
For what, your team?
For both teams.
For
I feel
both
like.
teams?
There was a
Okay.
lot of like peppered in contributions.
Well, with the red team, our team, we got so much production out of that screen pass with like all the linemen.
pass
So
is big.
we didn't really have to even have me and Brandon go like completely off because
Right.
we would just get those little, once the pressure was coming in on Max, he would wait till the last second to just dump it over the top.
Yeah, you saw the experience coming through.
Yeah, he would.
That was a
We
good
would
time.
let the pressure get through, and then they would just curl around for the screen pass.
Yeah.
And no one's on them, and they get free 50 yards like, all
Yeah.
the time.
It was a thing of
Greg-
beauty
Greg-
to watch. You're
Greg,
taking what you're getting.
Really knew the line game really well. That
Yeah.
was a big. Right when the game started, I noticed that was a huge addition. Just his like mental aspect towards the line, because I don't really pay attention to the line too much.
Right.
Because I'm always on the outside and stuff, and he was coming up with blocking schemes for both sides of the ball. That's what really saved us.
Yeah, it looked like there was a lot of huddles called into.
Max needs
called in by-
he needs the pocket just to get the play established.
Yeah.
To read the thing. He could still run it, but he needs that couple of seconds there to figure it out.
Yeah, just like a veteran quarterback,
Yeah.
Give him a little time, and he'll do damage. So
Exactly.
it was a hard fought victory, but red team comes out on top this year,
Yeah.
and black team's gonna have to reevaluate some things, see what we can do, what pieces we can put back together, and try to make the offense, a little more free flowing. And we'll see what next year looks like. But it's gonna be a long year of recovery. I think we've dampened. Some speculation out there about contributions from a given player, making it a little uneven. I feel like this year we kind of put that to rest. And
Yeah, definitely. Greg evened out that playing field with
Greg was a big addition.
Frank. I think that was the issue, right?
Right. I mean, when you get someone of near equal talent on the other end, it's gonna show up, and I think
Frank had a huge catch too in the end when you guys seemed to have kind of
did,
like
Dave,
threw in the towel already.
Dave lobbed one up. That was one of those good garbage
hilarious.
time, like let's just get one, I don't care anymore touchdowns. I feel like
that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was
mossed.
It was mossed. That was mossed. In a weekend full of mossing, that was definitely one of the mossiest of plays. What would you think of from the Thanksgiving NFL schedule? Any performances stand out? Any games?
I thought
locally?
what, in the NFL?
Yeah, just around the league.
I thought that the Cowboys game was pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah,
'Cause
Cowboys.
I thought they were kind of like, I was like, the Cowboys don't look that good, like early on, and then the whole Cooper explosion was pretty sick.
That was
lightning.
amazing. That was probably
I
one
went
of
to
his
get
best
another
games.
plate of food and came back, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Cooper just got 100-something yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Like, what?
Like a 5-minute span. Yeah, Cowboys have really changed the narrative here in the last 2 weeks.
They look pretty solid, and like the Cooper signing is starting to look pretty smart. Because how young he is, and if you told me that was a receiver they would be eyeing in next year's draft with that first round pick, that much talent,
Right.
you'd say take it every time. So
And Cooper, who's not that much older than Calvin Ridley.
yeah,
I'm
that
not
seems
mistaken.
to be the comparison. He's probably 1 year out.
I think he's
Bama?
only a year older. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
Calvin.
so it's
Yeah.
like the same thing.
Yeah. Big time. We kind of doubted Unc on how valuable that he was as a receiver coming from Oakland, but I think that just goes to show you if you put the right talent in the right place, you can get a lot out of them still. And you've probably seen that with like Eric Ebron too.
Ebron, that
Dude was
Luck
trash
looks
as a
solid.
Lion, and now all of a sudden he's tops in the NFL in touchdowns.
He had a glimpse of when he was on the line. It seems like the Lions are trash.
Yeah, they
It's
really know
not
how
the
to scoop players up.
I don't know what they're getting out of. You think Stafford will ever be like elite? I don't know. Man.
I think this is what he is.
Yeah.
I think he's a good quarterback who is.
When you come
probably
out and lay an
surrounded
egg,
by-
like I know the Bears defense are good, but when you're home on Thanksgiving and you got them on a short week like that, you got to put up more points. When
Right.
they let a backup
especially when they're
quarterback.
playing a backup quarterback.
Yeah, and
Chase
you
Daniel
come
was
in-
last time he started a game years ago.
Comes in and beats you like that. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that franchise is just. I mean, they're probably gonna take the perch as the new Browns pretty soon here.
You think
Browns
the
are
Lions
looking good.
The Browns look solid.
Browns look really
What do you think
solid.
of Baker in that whole little situation with the coach,
man.
his old coach?
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh
is just-
Jackson,
He
yeah.
couldn't look worse right now from a PR perspective. I mean, he's getting trashed on by everyone. I mean, awful as a head coach. Loses his job, goes on First Take like 2 days later, is trash talking the team and the organization. A couple weeks after that, now he's with Cincinnati just in time for the Browns game, and then he gets trashed by the Browns.
Yeah.
Baker has best game of the season, and Baker just kind of owns him post game. Doesn't want to give him a handshake.
Yeah.
Wants to keep the separation pretty obvious, and he's not hiding it with that edge of his. Hugh is just. I mean, he's looking more and more like probably the worst coach in football every day. And I think it's validated by how good the Browns have looked the last
Yeah,
couple
if
weeks.
the Bengals hire him now, it's gonna be a big mistake. I think.
As head coach.
Yeah, it
Oh,
seems I've
God.
heard whispers like the other dude, Marvin Lewis, is gonna move up into the front office, and then he's gonna come in as the coach. Why else is he there tagging along on this? It makes no sense to me.
Makes no sense.
But
And
I'm
their
glad-
season's over now too.
When I was watching the Browns Bengals game and I saw him just creeping over the coach's shoulder, just standing there, I'm like, what is he doing?
Yeah, he's looking eerily in the
Why
background
is he
there.
even on the team? I don't get it. Unless they're trying to groom him to bring him in next, and they're
I
gonna
don't know
move
what the
Marvin
hell they
Lewis.
would be doing that for. You gotta feel miserable if you're a Bengals fan. I mean, he's just the emphasis of suck personified in the coach. I don't know how you could look at him and draw anything from that resume. I mean, you look now at the talent that was on that Browns roster and how futile they've been, even this season up until he was fired.
They exploded once they fired him. Basically, Baker's been way better.
It's been awesome. There's some. That's why, like, when you break into the NFL as a head coach, like, you just have a job for life. Whether it's in broadcasting or whether it's just as a lifer in the league, as a premium head coach or assistant to a head coach. It's the ultimate job to ever break into because you're pretty much like sticky glued to that for the rest of your career. Jackson is a perfect example.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got some interesting storylines developing. Of course, the Giants suck. I mean, that's it. That's all you can say about it. Shermer really is. He sets a new bar every week, I feel like, for just how poorly you can coach a team and how evident it is when you are a poorly coached team. They're not good. And there's so many mental errors in game, and like you could blame a decent amount of that on Eli and the offense being out of sync, but wow, they're just bad. And Sherman's been bad his whole career. His lifetime record is brutal, and there's nothing there to make you feel good going forward outside of Saquon.
What's his record? 3-30 or something crazy, right?
Oh man, it's bad. Off the top of my head, I don't know. It's something like that. Yeah.
Single digit wins, 30 plus losses.
Yeah, I think he was Brown's head coach for 2 seasons, I want to say, and between that and the Giants, it's a pretty horrendous winning percentage, among the worst of all time. So he'll be joining Hugh Jackson in that winning percentage class shortly.
That is crazy, man.
And that is, what can you do? They're not going to go away from him after this season. They're not going to do that 2 years in a row. But that is just, it's a bad situation. It's just a
He was a weird hire. He was a weird hire, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
you know,
A lot of the league is going younger and like less old school.
agreed with that. Yeah, that was definitely a breakaway from this pattern where you're seeing like guys like
The Giants are just old fashioned. They didn't want to be like everyone else.
They didn't want to go with another first time head coach after.
They wanted to get an old school guy too. They thought they can control like the locker room with the way Odell's been acting and stuff like that. It kind of backfires though.
Yeah.
I could see Odell flourishing more in like on like a Rams atmosphere when the coach is like young and hip and can relate to him. You know what I mean?
All right. And has an already established offense.
Yeah.
His offense is terrible right now, unfortunately.
He needs the ball, a lot.
Yeah, he's not going to be, I mean, like any star receiver, he's not going to be happy unless he's averaging a touchdown a game,
Yeah.
which is fine. I mean, that's just how they all are, so you just kind of have to, like, take it with a grain of salt. But, I mean, I thought he had a point after the game. I know no one wants to hear it from him, and they want him to shut up and just contribute towards winning, but how they didn't exploit the Eagles, who were missing all their secondary.
It's like they didn't change their approach, like spread it around and just go right at it when they had, especially when they had the lead, like foot on the gas type style.
Yeah,
it looked like they were gonna blow them out when I was watching the game. Like the first drive or two, they were moving the ball really easy. Like, wow, the Eagles look really bad.
Right, offensive line looked good. I mean, we were giddy in a group chat about how good they've looked for 2 games consecutive up until that. First quarter plus, about how easily they're moving the ball.
But when you're on the road like that, your defense needs to be a little better too. Because they weren't getting stops in the second half at all.
No pressure, no stops.
The pressure is bad.
Yeah,
they don't have a D-line at all.
No, they're definitely not like a giant
pass rushers. That's not good for the league. Because, even in the game with the Rams and the Chiefs where there was so many points getting scored, the D-lines were still making their impact.
Right.
You know what I mean? They could get some points. They could get to the quarterback, any given play. And that's kind of what you need in this league now is offense and a D-line.
Yeah, that's where it starts. Like. I mean, I feel like no matter how many transitions the league will go through, offensive, defensive, whatever play styles are dominating, those are the 2 areas.
You need the quarterback and the guy who can get the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like you can live with it. You could live with the deficiencies in every other area. Mm-hmm. Maybe O-line too, focused on that. But it is what it is. It's a poor team. They got a lot of rebuilding to do, and I feel like it's just time to blow it up. I think obviously Manning's gone. I'll have to get a quarterback, whether it's in the draft or free agency. The problem is now you get in this cycle where, are you going to go with a filler guy? One of those mid-range, Teddy Bridgewater is someone who's turned around that.
I'm interested to see.
He'd walk in and probably be really effective, probably Alex Smith.
He's not the long-term answer, you're saying?
No, and I mean, are you going to draft at the top? Are you going to take another shot, a second-round type guy? Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's hard.
Yeah. How many games do they win now? 3?
3-8, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I guess you could say those last 2 wins. I mean, they have to win. But
yeah, I mean they'll win a couple more. I'm sure they'll finish probably in the 7 to 10 range.
Is there any clear-cut quarterbacks really coming out. I remember hearing whispers of the Oregon quarterback, but
Yeah,
it
he
seems
hurt
like
his shoulder recently
He
too.
hurt
I
his
think.
shoulder. His stock fell off. I've noticed.
Yeah, Drew Lock is like another guy. I feel like all of them are not terribly highly rated, but that is that just develops. You never heard of like Wentz until it was like
They
weeks
probably
before
are
the
better
draft,
off keeping Eli for another year. Honestly,
man. Yeah, I mean,
if they could actually
if they
address
draft
some line
someone,
issues, it might not be the worst decision ever. There's other quarterbacks in the league that don't really run at all
right.
that are doing just fine. Like think of all the older quarterbacks: Brady, Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah,
Even does Breeze even run at all?
yeah, not really.
I think if you got Eli an actual realistic line, he might not be as productive as them, but you don't see anyone clamoring for their jobs at all. Those guys that I mentioned.
Yeah,
he's not that much worse than
I
them.
feel like what you've seen at least in the last couple weeks is when the offensive line is horrendous.
Mhm.
Like Eli, he had a terrible game.
The pick
the other
was
day.
pretty.
Pick was awful. The
freaking
timeout
ridiculous.
situation was a
Timeout was
disaster.
bad.
But those are just like that's what comes with Eli. Like there's gonna be those 3 or 4 moments in the game where you just think like, what are you doing? But when you look at his overall body of work this season, like he hasn't been horrendous. He hasn't been holding back. It's not like it's a team on the verge of being great and he's holding them back.
No.
It's played into why it's not been a great season, but he's been serviceable. All right. So if you get another season of that with maybe an emphasis on the offensive line in the draft and then a quarterback either signed or early, like they could go that route. I don't know. I don't know what Gettleman's thinking. I don't know what they're thinking. It's just, like I said, it's a bad spot to be in because you're not like a terrible team with an eye on a couple great quarterbacks coming out in this class. Like going into last year into that draft class, like all the teams at the top were like tantalizingly looking at the quarterback class coming out and could envision where they were going to go. It's just kind of like you don't know. You don't know what the draft class looks like yet. It's just too early. So
I feel like they tried to address the O-line, but they failed, and it seems like no team with a quarterback like Eli, like all the other quarterbacks I just mentioned, none of them would succeed with a bad O-line. They make sure the line is good,
right.
and they really don't care if the receivers aren't as big name
Right.
and the running backs are like, because they made an emphasis to keep Odell. They drafted a running back, but the line's still terrible. So none of those pieces are really helping you.
right.
Where you have like something like Andrew Luck over in he's obviously more athletic at this point in his career, but
Yeah, and he's great.
they give him a good O-line. They don't even. I know he's got T.Y. Hilton, but they don't even all of a sudden Ebron looks great.
Right.
And
You make
make these. They all.
But that's how
anyone
it is.
looks
Like a great
decent.
quarterback
You get a
makes his receivers.
Yeah, you get a good QB and a good line. You
Right.
kind of fill in those other positions. They're not as important as that. So they need to get the line together and you can maybe
Control
give
the
Eli
game,
another shot.
Right, take stress off your defense. It's just like that's where it begins and ends. The O-line, if you have an O-line, you'll be competitive in every game. You don't even need a defensive line or defensive like elite secondary. Like obviously it helps, but if you have a great O-line and that's it, and you're starting from there, any quarterback you put behind there who's a serviceable pro will have a productive game. Even if it's just like game management style. And your offense will be on the field longer. It'll take less pressure off your defense. Hopefully you'll be able to put up some points and just be competitive. Your offensive line is trash. It's going to affect your offense even with great players. It's just going to lead to a myriad of problems and situations where your defense is on the field too often, getting exposed, and it's just everything collapses on itself.
That's it.
So Jets need to address that too.
The Jets definitely have a lot of questions to answer this offseason.
Yeah, they got the quarterback, but
At least they have a quarterback they think will take them through the future. I think he's going to be good. He's going to be a good pro. I don't know if he's a star. It's weird. It's hard. It's impossible to tell because he's so young and he's had such a terrible developmental year around him. It's not going the way they wanted it to at all.
And you'll see, we've participated in ourselves, like Giants and Jet fans barking at each other as over who's better, who's the better pick at this point. Again, it's not something that's going to be able to be determined for years.
Yeah, you won't. Obviously, we know Barkley's a stud. We don't know if Darnold's a stud. The situation that fits the team is the argument.
If you get a quarterback, a coach who comes in, and there's
there's a lot of upside still with
Yeah.
picking Darnold that early because he could carry the franchise for years to come. Barkley might not be able to if they can't get a good quarterback in there, a good offensive line in there.
You feel like the clock's
It's
ticking.
like handicapped, you know?
You're right.
I mean, he's obviously a stud. If he went to a team like anyone that's really good, like the Patriots, the Saints, it would be crazy.
Yeah.
Or the Rams, you know, I mean, put him even though Gurley's a stud, but
Right.
if you just put him in a great situation, he would be going off, like even way more than he is now. He's
right.
still
That's
going
scary
off.
to think about too. What he's
Oh
done
my
this
god,
season,
if he
right?
like landed somewhere else, just slap him in on the Colts or something.
Yep. So Jets also in a bad spot, but it's more predictable. Their Bulls will be gone, and they'll be all right. They got to address that. They got a lot
think
of.
the Browns probably could have had Saquon and Mayfield if they drafted me. Maybe not, but where was their second pick?
4,
right?
Kid's Denzel Ward.
Or was it 3?
Yeah, it was 4th.
4th, right? Because
Yeah.
the Giants were 3, and then
Giants were 2.
Giants were 2, Jets were 3, and then the Browns were 4 again.
Yeah.
So if they would have taken Saquon first, they would have ended up either getting probably Darnold or they would have either have gotten Darnold, Baker, or even Rosen.
Right. I don't know if Baker would have been there. The Jets might have taken Baker.
Yeah.
There's a lot of speculation on that. Baker's looking like a great pick right now.
Baker's nice.
Baker's very nice, really good.
From the second when he came in that one game against the Jets, he looked good, and then he was a little slow for a little bit, and now he's really looking good.
Yeah. And they got like Bruce Arians. He said like he would come out of retirement to coach him and the Browns. Like that'd be a hell of a combination.
Yeah.
You'd get some serious probably numbers out of Baker in that offense next year if that were to happen.
Baker looks good, man. He's gonna be good for years to come, I
Yeah.
think, because he's already getting good success in his first year. That's what you want. It's like now what's happening with Darnold. Darnold's first week of the year, you thought you were gonna have something magical. At least them win. You thought maybe they win like 7 games. After being 1-0,
Yeah, you knew there'd be up and downs, but like
you were like maybe they might be like 6-7 wins. Now they look atrocious now.
Yeah.
They're back to the bottom of the league, bottom of the barrel, as bad as it gets. He's hurt. You don't even know if he's really hurt. You don't know what's going on with the Jets.
It's just state of New York sports.
Bulls
right now.
is
Just
definitely getting fired.
Yeah.
New York sports is
It's a rotten
disaster
situation
right now.
Yeah, in football, it's
Holy
been
crap.
a disaster
All
for the last few
sports.
years. Yeah, in all sports.
Knicks are terrible. Nets are probably
Knicks are
terrible.
coming back down here. Yeah.
Rangers are average, pretty bad. Even the Devils are below average now.
Yeah, this is.
There's
this is a rough
nothing
stretch.
good going on.
I mean, you got the
No,
Yankees.
Islanders are like a decent.
but,
The Yankees. They're doing some interesting stuff right now.
Yeah. So.
Toe's gone.
Toe's gone. Little trade today.
It's okay. I hope he does good somewhere.
Yeah,
He deserves
it's
it.
getting a little more exposure than maybe the move justifies, but I get it. A lot of fan love.
Exactly. He's
You know,
just a fan
Good
favorite.
look, right?
There's
So
nothing they can do with him.
no, I think you just got to be smart with these roster spots. So Toe's gone. Corbin's coming in, I believe, tomorrow for a visit.
Ooh.
Check out, on his free agent tour now. So
He's on the tour.
he's on the tour.
He just
He met with the
came
Phillies
from
and the
Phillies.
Nationals. Yeah.
Nationals.
So
What's going on with Harper?
nothing yet. I feel like that's going to be
Lingering around, big fish.
he'll be around probably well into deep December. I'd say maybe look right before Christmas, probably when that happens. Maybe after that. I mean,
Machado too.
Chada too. None of the
Probably
big
want to see
dominoes.
what the other one does. Yeah. Donaldson went to the Braves.
That was a big move.
That's pretty big.
I
Though.
think they paid a lot of money for
They're
him.
paying a big price for him, but he's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, that's a good 1 year deal.
Yeah.
What do you
He
think?
got some nice bats.
What do you think about the Robinson Cano rumors swirling around the Yankees and the Mets?
Yeah, I don't know if it's got any legs to it. I don't know if this is just manufactured, stuff. This came off like MLB Network. Some guys saying some random
Oh
stuff.
man, that went viral. People thought that was an actual trade proposal.
Yeah,
I
with
mean,
the
it
Mets,
wasn't. That was
right?
literally just one guy who was saying, "It could be a good
yeah.
deal," and people went apeshit with it.
It looked like a pretty good
Yeah,
deal.
it looked like a great deal because the Mets are getting Cano. Edwin Diaz is like a top reliever in baseball now, and I mean, giving up.
Yeah, I don't know if the Mariners are gonna sell that low.
Yeah,
I mean, they could just wait to the
Matt
deadline.
Smith, I think too.
You could get more if you just wait to the deadline, probably.
Either that or like
Contender.
shop him around a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
they're talking about like it was a done
Mets.
deal. So even our Met fan
And Jay
friends
Bruce
are,
was like involved in it too.
yeah, like they're gonna take
Only
on
paying
that contract.
$14 million for
Right,
Cano.
Mariners are kicking in $80 million for Cano, whatever it was. Ridiculous. It's not gonna happen.
No,
I mean,
not that easy.
They want to get rid of Cano for sure. He probably definitely won't be on the team next year. But I don't know if it makes a ton of sense for the Yankees. I mean, it becomes another roster clog. I mean, I see the potential for a year or two. You got to remember he's under contract for 5 more years. You know.
That's our contract that we got rid of. To take that back now, it's going to be
it's
interesting.
And
I don't understand how that could make sense. We
unless
missed
they're
out on
kicking
like
in
the
so
prime
much money
years.
that it
Exactly.
is too dumb to turn down, and you can just cut him after the next couple of years if he's
Yeah.
not productive anymore. But there's a lot of reports that Cano just isn't moving well anymore. He's probably not a second baseman long term. I don't know, dude. Off of PEDs and.
I would not park around down that road. As much as I used to love Cano, it's just not making sense right now.
You can't do that and then be one of these people who like doesn't want Machado at all for all the character issues and the money.
Cano wasn't the biggest hustler, if I don't recall.
I mean that's Machado light, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of those people who were anti-Machado but on board with bringing Cano back home, an unnamed New York sports host wasn't hating the idea, but hates the concept of Machado. I mean, it's a 26-year-old, potentially dominant third baseman in his prime, or
I don't know.
36-year-old aging the second baseman off his
right off the
suspension.
PEDs too. Wow,
Yeah.
what makes? I don't know. The Yankees got lucky. They're not tied into this PED story with Cano.
No, I mean
he
he
was
might have
probably
been
doing
doing
it then,
right.
but they're completely free of it. Why would they take it on right after?
Yeah,
Look back like the way they used to look.
I can't see that unless it was going to be a ridiculous deal where they pay majority of the money. Can't see that, so we'll monitor that. But
The Mets thing was kind of funny, I thought.
Yeah, it kind of maybe again for the right
actually
player and
more if Bruce was involved, then definitely they should do it.
Oh, it's definitely if that was on the table, something like that where it's Cano and Bruce centered package.
Why is it like the Mariners are just interested in these old outfielders? Wasn't Ellsbury in our package?
Yeah,
So why would the Mariners even want them?
I think they want to do what they can to get rid of that behemoth that is Cano.
Yeah.
They're blowing it up. They don't want anything to do with a mega contract like that. That was an all. You can just tell sometimes when contracts are signed at the like Pujols' massive deal. You knew it was gonna be awful in like 2-3
The
years.
back end of the deal is always scary.
This is like
and Cano is
that
still
back
like
end.
somewhat producing, and you're still scared of it.
Right.
Just to think like Pujols is just like he literally
slug out there.
he is a slug.
Yeah.
When you go watch him, I watched him live a few times when the Angels were at Yankee Stadium, and then when I was in LA.
All right.
He even when he gets his singles, man, he just literally walked like it's like a base on
Struck it out
balls.
there.
He's just like sliding around. It looks ridiculous.
He got his massive. He doesn't
But
care.
he still can hit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
kinda.
mean, right. You can make contact every
Yeah.
now and then, but he's
And he's I don't know. I don't want to rag on Pujols. He's such
no, of course.
such a legend, but he looks bad. He looks
Yeah, he's
terrible.
awful. But that's why again, that's like it's going over too many people's heads. Like that's what makes Machado and Harper so different for not just like this year, but looking forward the next 3-4 years, looking back in the last 10 years. Guys don't hit free agency who are stars at 26.
Yeah.
So if you give a 10-year contract to Cano when he's 31, you know that for the next 3-4 years it's going to be probably really good, all-star level, and then you could just see 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, like awful.
Over half of the contract is
If I'm giving it to a guy who just turned 26, that means the first 8 years and probably 27, 28, 29, 31, 32, like the back 2
when's
years
Trout
might
a free
be.
agent?
Trout is a free agent. Is it at the end of next season or the season after that?
Oh.
But I know he would be like
He's gonna be
29.
the biggest shark in the water at that.
Oh, yeah,
rate.
he'll get
He
a
is gonna
massive
get
deal.
The craziest deal ever. He's like
I wish he didn't sign
he's
that
like Mickey
extension.
Mantle. That extension
That locked him up
for a
in
little extra time.
yeah.
In a
He would have been
garbage
hitting the free
organization.
agency, I think, this year too.
Oh,
That would have been
We would the Yankees
15-year
would, they would
contract.
just be committed to him.
100,
Just move
500
over
million,
from
whatever he
Hicks, even
wants.
though Hicks is solid.
Come on.
He's the center fielder the Yankees always wanted again. To replace like.
If the Yankees
Bernie,
didn't,
he's way obviously more
oh
talented
yeah,
than
he's
Bernie.
Mantle.
He's basically
Mantle.
Mickey Mantle, yeah.
If the Yankees didn't sign Teixeira, the Angels when the Yankees signed Mark Teixeira, the Angels got their first round pick, and they used that first round pick on Mike Trout. So if the Yankees had never signed Teixeira, they probably would have been able to get Trout, which is crazy when you think about it. Because Teixeira was
He'd be
like
the most
okay.
biggest legend ever if he was the Yankees' whole career.
It'd be insane.
He'd already have a
we
World
think
Series.
Judge is already like a legend.
Or no, he
like,
wouldn't have got that World Series. Because he probably got drafted the year after we won the World Series then, right? Because we won the first year we got
Yeah,
Texas,
so he was
right?
drafted 2010.
Right?
Yeah, no, it was 09. Teixeira was alright in that postseason. He had a couple hits, but...
Was that the postseason when A-Rod went crazy?
Yeah. So they probably would have won anyway. They had
What's
a
up?
replacement level player in there. I don't know if Teixeira would have been... but winning the East was a big deal. Whatever. I mean, that's going down the rabbit
that's
hole.
way down the rabbit hole.
But, yeah, so we'll have to see what happens with that. Update. Are we going to have Reda call in to break down the match?
It's potential.
Potential game time decision?
He didn't answer, but I would like his expertise on the match.
I would. Did you check it out at all? Were you seeing a stream, or I was just
I
following?
actually have seen nothing.
That was that was a big time, all time match that I didn't watch or really care to watch, but I was getting the Bleacher Report updates. It was holding my interest, seeing that Phil was leading the way.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything post match on there to see if.
What's up, John?
Oh, here we go.
We got,
Calling in live
John
right
on the
now.
line. We're here with John Reda, our golf analyst here. What's up?
What's up, Joe?
What's up, guys?
We're just we're breaking down the match, and either the success or failure afterwards. What do you got? What were your thoughts on the match and how it played out? And did it live up to the hype? What do you got on your end?
No, I mean, it's funny to say you talk about success and failure and the failure. I'm like walking in the door right now.
That's fine. It's alright.
Yeah, I mean, as a big time golf fan and growing up watching Tiger and Phil, I was excited by the idea, and to hear that they were going to play head to head for 10 million, I was like, I'm definitely going to watch. And then slowly but surely they found a way to completely ruin it. I mean, the head of the PGA came out and was like, you guys can't play for 10 million because that's what the FedEx Cup is worth. So then it got bumped down to 9 million, and then they decided they're going to do pay-per-view.
Is that why? Is that really why it was bumped down from 10 to 9?
Yeah, they didn't want to outdo the FedEx.
Oh, this is ridiculous.
Because
I didn't know
they
that.
didn't want to take the value of the FedEx Cup away. So,
Okay. All right.
um,
Could I also say too that maybe to Mickelson, yes, but like to Tiger Woods, 10 million is like practically nothing, given the fact that he's made over $1 billion in his career.
yeah, I mean, even for Phil, like that's a drop in the pan with all of his endorsements and stuff.
It's weird.
Nothing for either of them.
Did they give all that to charity? Did Phil did? I mean, I hope so.
I think I think the total prize was pocketed, or some of it might have gone to charity, but then like they did side bets with their own money,
Yeah.
and that was all charity. So
Got it.
whoever won the side bets donated to the other guy's charity of choice, which like that was cool. But even that, I mean, that was like one of the cooler aspects, and the same thing happened. Like they got capped on how much they were allowed to do side bets for. So like, they had a few, and Phil like set one up a week before the match, and Tiger, I think he said he was going to birdie the first hole, $100,000, and
Yeah.
Tiger looked at him and said double it. So going in, you knew the first hole was worth $200,000 to one of them, but yeah, I mean the whole pay-per-view aspect was just like ridiculous.
It was interesting. We were talking about how HBO did the 24/7 leading up to it, and that's something they'll do for boxing matches where it really gets you pumped up and amped up, insight into someone's life and how awesome it's going to be and how this is the fight for their life. And it was so anticlimactic to do that in golf, especially with guys that have made hundreds of millions of dollars already.
But what's funny is I actually sat and watched that whole 24/7 too, and I was like, at that point my excitement hadn't gone away yet, but it was pretty funny to see, because I had watched it before, not for boxing, but they used to do it with hockey,
Okay.
leading up to the Winter Classic, and it was just funny to see these guys try to talk smack, like you're playing the most polite game on earth, and you're in your mid to talk.
I think I saw Phil like in like leading up to trying to talk smack. He like prefaced it by saying like, "Oh, between the two of us, like who the better golfer is?" Well, obviously Tiger is. He's won 14 majors. I've won like a few, and I feel like it like that kind of encompassed how uneventful this entire thing was. And I mean, maybe that's coming from a biased perspective because I'm not a huge golf guy, but for something that was making waves with even casual fans, I feel like any element of like making it more competitive was probably like diluted by the fact that they're not overly talkative, or there's not a fun cocky personality to either on like a grand stage like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of times I get pissed at people like McGregor for being like overly cocky, but like they could have used some bite between them for sure. There's like a heavyweight match between two pillows.
It's a great way to describe it.
But yeah, and then you figure whatever they go through, they ruin the whole thing by doing the pay-per-view. Then that in itself gets all messed up. So they wound up like the Bleacher Report broke their paywall, so they couldn't. The people who had paid for it got refunds, and now all the major cable networks are giving people money back for it. And then I didn't watch it, but I saw highlights, and from everything that I read, the golf was just like completely lackluster, and it ended on a makeshift hole because they ran out of daylight, and they were hitting off of a putting green to the 18th green. It was just like every aspect that they could have ruined, they found a way to do it.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. When I saw the highlights, I didn't realize why it was dark, but on like a illuminated field, it was a little off-putting. But have you seen? Are there any leaks on like financial numbers, like how it did? As I mean, I know they had to like return the money, and there's like a whole crazy paywall between that and BR screwing up the streaming access and capability. But like from a pure number perspective, did a lot of people purchase it?
Honestly, I didn't see anything about as far as like how many people paid for it or anything like that, but I did see that they barely broke even, if that, based on how everything wound up playing out because of this whole streaming service getting messed up. So,
That's great.
I mean, from my perspective, I think the idea was great. The execution couldn't have been any worse. And I think it's something that probably could have been good for the game to set up these sort of like heavyweight matches. And especially now you got all these young guys coming up, and it's not just Tiger versus Phil, and it's not even, except with the young guys, it's not even just like one guy versus one guy. It's like you got this whole slew of young guys, and if you can figure out a way to make these head-to-head matches exciting, that would be awesome, and I think that would really help grow the sport. But the way that they handled this was just so bad that I wouldn't even try again for 10 years.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say next. Like, you don't see them now kind of branching off and having, like Rory versus, Jordan Spieth, or right, Justin. You don't see that for a while coming.
I would say probably not. I mean, from my perspective, you have the names and you have the people who would draw the interest for sure. But I just think that from a PR standpoint at this point, it's almost like I don't even know who's willing to sign up to be part of that at this point. Just based on how bad this one went. But there's definitely potential there, especially like I said, just like this slew of young guys you got coming up, and catching guys in their prime might be a good spot too. I mean, you look at Tiger and Phil, and obviously Tiger came back, he won this year, but like these guys are towards the end of their career at this point, and it's almost like a retirement match. Two old guys on the course, you're playing for boat money.
I heard the guys on Twitter, like some of the young studs now, were a little upset about it. They were like chirping about it. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw there was like a few tweets and stuff that I had read that was just kind of like not great, but I can't blame anybody for talking smack about it.
At least someone was during the match, even if it was the guys actually involved. Yeah, it felt a little bit a little bit like Mayweather Pacquiao.
Phil,
you know, a
like
little too late.
Phil and Tiger used to be like huge rivals back in the day. Now they're trying to be like buddy buddy. It seems like with this, you know.
Yeah, and that was even one part of the that whole like 24/7 thing was just that was sort of like a media created rivalry
Oh,
that
really?
they both recognized was going to be beneficial for them on a personal level, and they both just kind of like ran with it, but they never even hated each other. So it's like off the bat, you go behind the scenes, and now you have these two guys who are pinned up against each other as bitter rivals that.
They couldn't have just went with the rivalry for like one more match.
Exactly.
This is set the record straight right before we play. We actually love each other. Okay, all right, I'm gonna buy this now.
Yeah, it seems like in an effort to capitalize on the rivalry, they kind of diffused the
Yeah,
whole
because
point.
they got them in the same room together, and then they got all, you know.
Yeah. It's I think they took a brilliant idea, and if you want to call it a trial run, they got a lot of work to do before they put themselves back out there like this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do something like this with other sports going forward. If it's maybe like, you know, me and Sam were chatting, like maybe tennis. You know, if you have these one-off kind of matches that you don't have to wait for, you know, like a Grand Slam event. You know, you can or an open event. You could just do them for pay-per-view style. I mean, I think that was like the biggest thing to observe with this. Like, if this was even remotely successful, and I guess the jury's still out on if breaking even for something like this is successful, but if this is a blueprint, do they do something like this going forward where you have these kind of branched off one-on-one games, you know, LeBron versus Durant, the game or something like that? You know, I guess that'll be interesting, but it definitely caused a lot of media stir, so I guess they got some
if
PR.
nothing else, they got a lot of buzz out of it.
There was a lot of social media buzz about it. For
Probably
sure.
more than I thought, because I feel
Yeah.
like when they announced it in the lead up to it, it didn't really capitalize or such a snowball until maybe like a week or two out, but then it really picked up.
Like no other golfers, I think, could get even nearly as much stir out of anyone besides them two. You know, that's the problem.
Yeah, I think they picked the right people to try this out with,
Yeah.
and they really could have made this be so much better. But
If it was free and they just used all the, you know, advertising money, if it was on like, you know, like CBS or something, it would have killed. It would have been awesome.
they'd be rolling in it right now, even if the golf was as bad as apparently it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
They just going the pay-per-view route killed them, because more people would have gambled if every single household had it. For sure, more people would have been gambling. The only reason I didn't gamble is because I didn't watch it, and I wasn't trying to, you know, be checking my phone to see if, you know, Phil made a birdie putt off a mat.
exactly.
Apparently, all the.
Pay-per-view mini
So what happens if you put money on this and then like you're like, I didn't sign up for this, like a chip off a mat at Tamarack in the middle of the night.
That does change things a little bit.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, especially now that you feel like they're trying to move away from pay-per-view, especially in boxing. It's interesting to see like another sport like go
toward
back down that
pay-per-view,
road.
yeah.
Seeing like that new streaming service, The Zone, like trying to
They
like,
advertised it like you were gonna be able to get like in-game bets, like side bets throughout the whole match, and apparently that was like shut down. But it wasn't happening as well either.
Oh, really?
Like you could be like, oh, it's like Phil gonna make this putt type of thing. Like that wasn't as accessible as like they said it, like they offered it was gonna be. Which I think you gotta have gambling. That's like the biggest interest in that event. I feel like for some reason, for the non-golf fan.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I think just, again, it's just from every perspective, everything they could have done to do this well, they did really poorly. And I think it's a good experiment, but it's a failed experiment.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, we're gonna let you go. Thanks for coming on, John.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, for sure, guys. Have a good rest of your night.
You
All right,
too. We'll
you
check
too.
back in.
All right.
All right,
Take care.
take care.
Yeah, that's a good recap there.
Yeah, you're really big golf guy, John. One of the better golfers in the South River Rams history there.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
He's
sure.
a big time golfer.
Yeah, good perspective. And it'd be interesting to see where that goes. We could check back with John maybe in the future when there's some big golfing news or news branching off of this pay-per-view event to see if there's
It's an
enough players in the
interesting
works.
concept, you know what I mean? Because pay-per-view is just interesting, especially like from a boxing perspective, and even UFC and stuff. It's like, oh wow, they're gonna do a pay-per-view.
There's a
golf,
cachet
you know?
to
It's
it,
like,
for
whoa,
sure.
okay,
Yeah.
interesting. You know, who's paying for it? I'm not, but who is?
Yeah, you wish there was more of that.
And if it like killed it, then I'd be. And from a golf perspective, it was tied after 18 holes, and but that still wasn't enough. You know,
Right.
you need like a how like they do it with boxing, like with the whole rivalry thing, even with like the whole. Who was the guy that just jumped out of the? See, I don't even know his name. Who's the guy who jumped out of the ring recently?
Oh, Khabib.
Khabib.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, like you
God.
need like a little spectacle, you know,
Right,
every now
that
and then
was-
to really get everyone going for the
And
next one.
Polar
you know?
opposite. That was like
Yeah.
they couldn't have asked for anything better. They
'Cause
won't come out and say
Once
it.
they get that rematch going with McGregor and
That's gonna be
Khabib,
huge. You know you're buying that
saw
one.
that pay per view like
I mean,
nothing.
There's no chance I'm not seeing
When's
that
that
fight.
coming up? You know,
Right.
everyone's gonna be looking around.
Right, yeah.
So much different.
Yeah, you wish there was.
You
a
need
little
to
more.
end with a bang. You can't end with a chip off of a pad in the middle of the night. It's just no lust to it at all.
Yeah, it's crazy. They weren't.
At that
as
point, they should have
prepared.
ended in the draw. Everyone get their money back on the gambles, and that keeps way more excitement for the next time. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Build up.
You can't make it look like backyard golf. It's just not good.
Yeah.
You wanna
That's interesting.
you wanna get a couple picks in here for NFL to wrap things up?
Yeah. Yeah.
I got the spreads right here. I mean, maybe take a few each.
I like it.
I know it's a pretty weird game tomorrow.
Now we got Cowboys and
Cowboys,
Saints
Saints.
tomorrow. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. We'll see if the Saints continue to steamroll everyone, or if Dallas could ride their momentum.
They got that spread at 7 because it's in Dallas, which is pretty. You know, it's closer than I thought.
Yeah, probably only because they're in,
Yeah,
they're in
obviously,
Dallas, but it's still like they're still in that
it's only
in a
one
dome.
score.
In a dome. That offense is killer. So
Mm.
you give them essentially another home game. I mean, obviously minus the crowd, but
Because like
that
if you
offense get revved up.
it's just giving Dallas some respect. Because if you look here, you got Kansas City at Oakland, and that's 15. I know Oakland's trash,
Oh God,
but that just shows you that.
that's more than
Because I think New
touchdowns, yeah.
Orleans even has more firepower than the Chiefs, so that just shows you the Cowboys are. I think they're getting their act together.
Yeah, Cowboys definitely earning some respect with a few gritty wins here. And definitely in
That's
prime
where I was
position to
gonna
take the East.
You got some interesting games here. I really do. You got Pittsburgh Chargers. I like that.
That's a hard game to pick.
That's a cool game. You got wow. This is pretty funny. The Titans are coming into MetLife. Oh, no, never mind. It's in Tennessee.
It's in
Sorry,
Tennessee, I was
this,
gonna say, right.
this is labeled weird.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's 9.5 points. Wow. I
Titans
feel
are getting
bad.
9.5?
Yeah, I feel bad for the Jets, honestly.
That's a big number.
They
for
are
the Titans.
trash. Is Darnold gonna play? He needs to play some games.
I think the latest practice reports had him practicing.
Yeah.
9.5 for the Titans.
Mhm.
They're garbage.
I'm gonna take this game right here. This is Seattle home against San Francisco.
I like it.
10-point spread. I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah.
10 points is a lot, but night game.
In Seattle.
Sunday night, Seattle, San Fran coming in. They're gonna be shell shocked.
They've been playing really well lately.
San Fran, yeah.
No,
I know,
San
San Fran's
Seattle.
been pretty trash all year.
Yes,
It's
Pete
a shame
Carroll's
they
got.
lost Jimmy G.
Yeah,
I
it was
think they
really
would've
interesting
been
to see what they could have
competitive
done.
throughout a full season. I think they would have been like getting in their flow right now with him.
I could see them having been a wild card team with Jimmy G.
Seattle's looking good. They're gonna motor him, I think. I'd be surprised if
Yeah, this is
that
gonna be-
doesn't get covered.
Either that or it's some of those ugly like 12-9 games.
They got Green Bay 14-point favorite at home against Arizona. They got them ready to roll.
I think that's going to be just one of those take it out on the crap opponent games.
Pissed off they've been getting beat.
Yeah. I think that's a game where you see Rodgers explode for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Pitt picked them apart this week, right? That was Arizona. Right?
Arizona, yeah.
Yeah, so that'll be my pick. I don't know if you want to take a look over here.
Yeah,
at the
let me see
spreads,
what we got
you can
going on.
Take a pick.
All right.
So, my picks have been good lately. I've been riding the Giants up, and they even covered for me this week.
They did. You're
I've
right.
been buying half points like crazy. It's wild.
Those half points are definitely valuable,
Mhm.
especially those games you're kind of not 100% sold on.
Yeah, they're so good with the spreads, man. You buy a half point, throw a couple extra bucks on it, it's worth it.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, let me take a look here. You do got some interesting home matchups this week that I think are kind of toying with the line a little bit. Let's see. Here's you got Carolina. They've been a good team. Obviously.
You're never sold on Carolina.
Right, but I'm
This
coming
game you
around,
are?
and I think
Coming out?
after last week especially, I think this is another get right game. They're in Tampa, -3.5. That Tampa defense is horrendous, and here's the other thing too. I think Tampa's probably going to score because that offense they throw a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Jameis Winston's prone to a lot of turnovers. And I think, listen, McCaffrey's getting hot. Cam Newton, for the most part, has been playing pretty well this season. He's getting those wide receiver weapons settling in. Carolina is one of those sneaky teams that I feel like gets hot at the end of the season and you don't want to play them in the playoffs. And I think this is a game where, coming off, let's see, they lost in Seattle this past weekend, I think. I could be wrong on that. Hold on.
Who's that?
Let's check it. Carolina? Who did the Carolina Panthers play this week? Let's see. Panthers score in week 12. We're coming
No,
super.
they didn't play Seattle, did they?
Let's see. Carolina Panthers. What week
I
was
know
last week?
McCaffrey went off and they still lost.
McCaffrey
Well,
went
that
off,
was
right.
against.
It was,
so-
right? No, I mean, could Google be less helpful right now?
I think no, I'm pretty sure you're right.
Hold on. Wait,
I've never seen Pete Carroll
Panthers.
celebrating.
Week
That kick.
12, right. I'm almost positive, but I
Like
won't-
Gano Shank. Yeah, Gano, right? I know.
I mean,
Wait.
is this like...
There's too many damn games. You gotta watch every game. Scott
This is
Hansen's
just-
freaking you out watching Red Zone.
Getting too excited by fantasy. Dude, is this Google? what is this rerouting?
Oh,
me
you
to?
got my makeshift
Searching
Google
crypto?
set up?
What is it?
Yeah, you can't trust this stuff.
What is it? How do I get to like the most accurate Panthers? It's changing my search engine request.
Well, you're in searching crypts. What is that?
What?
Holy crap, dude. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Panthers week last week. Let's see the little box score going.
Okay.
This is amateur hour on the
Yeah.
gas
We
rate.
need like one of those guys behind the glass that like just.
We need a
sweat
producer,
for you.
a stat guy.
And just got
Hey Tim, look up for me with the.
like I feel like
Can't-
my there's something like I have a weird
Wait, go
search
back.
engine here, so it's like
Wait, go back down here. Get back to November 25th.
yeah.
Holy shit.
That looks
Yeah, this
nice
is
actually.
alright. This is good. I was right. They were in Seattle.
Well, you were
tough
just
win.
typing in Panthers. You got
I
like
mean, no,
Black
I was typing in
Panther
Panthers
pictures.
schedule and we were getting nothing. It was defaulting back to Panther. Yeah, 30-27. All right, so like I said, tough loss last week. That's propelling Seahawk momentum forward. Carolina was probably due for a loss like that at home. Listen, still comfortably in the playoff hunt. That division, obviously Rams are gone with that, but I'm sorry, Saints. But yeah, I like Carolina -3.5 in Tampa. I think Tampa is gonna be
It's
a
not a
risky
bad pick at
for
all.
No.
I mean, I only
And they're obviously
that.
they're on the road and they're a
I'm
different
all
team
with,
on the
I'm
road.
with
But
that. I'm with that for sure. They're covering that.
yeah, I'm comfortable with that.
I'm definitely liking that. I might parlay those our two picks together there.
Giants
Nah.
again -4.5. Chicago, yeah. That Bears defense. That's listen. I love Eli. I want to see
If
the
that
Giants win.
Trubisky guy's not playing again, that could be a decent line again.
think he's
I
in
might
doubt.
keep riding with the Giants too.
Yeah, so I think that'll be a big factor here. Trubisky, the health of that shoulder, but at least defensively, Giants are gonna have a tough time moving the ball.
They're gonna have a tough time blocking.
Yeah, no O-line,
They're
Mac.
not gonna be able to get any pressure on. They haven't been able to touch a quarterback all year either. So
Yeah.
it don't really matter if the backup plays.
Right.
He's gonna get some unless it's crazy windy or something. he's
That
gonna fire
won't be
him
a
up.
high scoring game at all. That'll be one of those.
It might
you know.
be if Giants can't stop anyone.
Yeah.
No, but you're right.
No, I could see it being like 21-17, you know, under
Mhm.
40 points.
What's up? They got over under there or no?
Yeah,
No.
minus 4.5.
No, the
Oh,
totals.
over under now. No, on the site.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine that being over 38, 40 maybe. But that'd be a shock.
It's gonna be interesting. What's the Monday night game?
Monday
Philly,
night
Washington?
is
That's
Washington.
actually
Yep.
means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Both
That's a
teams.
big game. That's
Yeah, they got some
Washington's
decent games.
last chance there.
I wonder if Cole McCoy can. They had so much faith in him. They were acting like he was like got it all together. He didn't look that good.
Yeah, I mean he's an okay backup, but
Mm.
their line is terrible on offense. They lost a lot of players, so we'll see. Got a good week ahead, but
Do have a good week ahead. Interested to see where the Jets and Giants can even at least salvage a game or two here.
yeah, this will be you know, probably one of those draft
It's also a
shaping
big
weeks.
week in fantasy around the country here.
Big week in
Last week of the
fantasy. Last
season.
week, fight for the playoffs.
Waffle League's got a huge logjam down there.
Oh man, a lot of 6 and 6 teams
Yeah.
fighting for the last 4 playoff spots.
So Corey broke down all the mathematical equations to get everyone in the playoffs as usual.
Got the
So
possibilities outlined, so
we'll check in next week to see
essentially
if,
winning you're in, but
essentially because someone's gonna lose.
Someone's gonna lose.
Yeah. He's got it.
Dirt Stars versus KJ, that's probably going to be a game of the week.
Yeah.
2 6 and 6 teams,
Yeah.
you know, big implications.
Mhm.
The loser, you know, nothing's guaranteed.
Loser.
Winner, pretty much you're in.
Winner's
So.
pretty much in, loser's pretty much out.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes at this point for half the league.
It's going to be a rough night.
So who's
Monday night.
locked into the playoffs? Should Tom, Brandon, and
Tom Brennan and
Jackson?
Jackson, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jackson, yeah, he's pretty much
Got
locked
that
in.
7th win.
Then you got
so.
6 teams battling for the
Last
4
4
spots.
Yeah, nothing's guaranteed.
3 teams out.
Yeah. So
Should be interesting.
Gotta
Check
put
in
up points even if
check
you
in next
lose.
week. Yeah, I got.
Unscored
I
is
got
just-
the Snake Tits got Fiat last week, and I mean he's got a respectable lineup going. So
yeah,
I think he's projected to beat us by a point. So
yeah, he's
I think
definitely.
they got underdogs and a must-win. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where those lines move in fantasy too before we kick off.
Yeah, those fantasy lines are great.
Big game tomorrow. Drew Brees, Kamara.
There's a lot of big players going tomorrow. It
Yeah.
all starts tomorrow. Well,
Can't wait.
that's Cooper on
Cooper
for
on
KJ here.
for Frank. So,
All right, well,
tune in.
we'll check in next week.
All right.
See you all later.